Hello and welcome, Tartarus here with another developer update. Oops, this wasn't okay. So yeah, with another developer update for GoRR, Glory of Rome Remastered. And by the way, the file you just saw is my current work to do. I'm updating the names files, and I'm glad that I'm allowed to use EB2's names, and I'm currently add them to the build, and it's quite huge. There are a lot of factions missing proper names in vanilla, and yeah, EB2 has them. It's quite a lot. Yeah, and I'm currently add them to the build, look for duplicates, and then go for the factions. And each faction will get its own branch of names, and I have to update them later in the normal files, and it's quite annoying, a long task, but once done, all the factions have proper names and much more names, because if the game develops and you get a big empire, you need more names, and yeah, this is the work for this I'm currently doing. But it's good progress so far. I'm reaching a quarter of the amount of work that I've done or have to do, and yeah, I think in a week, if all goes well, I'm able to present you some of the updated names. There are also some other stuff going on. As you know, the 0.1 is still in beta, but I think on Monday I've released a big patch with a lot of missing UI and a lot of missing text files, some textures of the fierce warriors, for example. Some reported that they are invisible or partly invisible. So far I think I fixed this issue, and also thank you for reporting those kind of things. Yeah, and with the latest patch on Monday, I've added a lot of these stuff which was missing. I'm currently a little bit in a cold still, and my voice wasn't really good at this point, so I didn't announce it, and yeah, it was a little update so far. But a bigger update is in the making, and once the big update will be live, the beta will change into the normal 0.1. But I think all these updates will be safe game, so if you play a campaign, you can still move on. In the best way, you only see, okay, here's an UI which was formerly missing, or if you play the battle and you notice, the unit is there. So the best way of update, you don't notice the change, you don't have to start a new campaign, play as you like, and yeah, it's really fine. So there are still other tasks, and once I'm done with the stuff for the beta or for the main version of 0.1, the work continues in other parts of the game. So far, these other parts are mainly focused on buildings, and yeah, the 0.2 will be the big goal in the near future, and yeah, all the buildings for factions will be much more developed. I think a cultural, a lot of new buildings will be added. Factions like the Sarmatian or the Sarmatian culture factions, they will become more unique, and I want to push some things also in their development, because for now they are basically low-tier barbarians, but a lot of these tribes get Hellenized at some point, and a lot of these tribes also merged and emerged in other tribes later on, and this kind of evolution I want to put in the game, at least as an option. So if you start, for example, as Mazagete, which are way in the wasteland, or this area here, where you have probably some villages and some horse riders, similar to the Parthians, for example. You can migrate from here to wherever and start building up your culture. And this cultural thing, in a kind that you get pastoral, that you have fields, you can develop towns with walls, you develop siege equipment, you get more access to units, also to not tribal units, more advanced units, also smiths that are available, and all this stuff which make a culture alive and interesting. And this kind of development I want to bring up for a lot of the barbarian factions. We'll see where this goes, and besides this, I also want to develop the area of recruitment for a lot of factions, because this area of recruitment, it intermingles with the development of buildings. So it's a natural part, and both the buildings, the ROR development and the map development go hand in hand. So at this early stage of the game, all these basic developments will take place, and I try to develop all these features step by step, so that every update I'm releasing will be playable. So it's also important for me to get some feedback, and I'm glad for everyone who wrote me some nice words or some experienced stuff or some bugs or something, because I take it and try to work it out, for example, or think about it in a way I have probably not think about it. And I think the best what can happen is a better game. For example, someone asked about more factions and regions in Northern Africa, which is true, a little bit empty. But so far you have 5 or 6 factions here, and once they conquer the rebels, they get intense. And sure, at some point one of these factions will be dominating all of Northern Africa, but it's everywhere in this total war game. At a certain point, a faction has a dominance and starts to dominate its neighbors. But I think Northern Africa will also need some care at some point, and this was also my first area which I started to mod, because I wanted Carthage to be more historical in its borders, And out of this came this, what you see now. Yeah, so it's a fairly good process. Also, these areas here, the Asia Minor cities, Pontus and Paphlagonia and city-states here all over, Thrace, the Bithynian factions, they have a lot of interesting history, and as a player I want to make them unique. So you can start small, but can grow big. Maybe dethrone the Seleucids and the Ptolemaics or the Macedonians and become the next here of Rome, for example. This kind. And every faction should have at one point a possibility to get an empire or to become an empire. And also barbarian factions, like for example the Germanic tribes and the Celtic tribes. The Celtic tribes a little bit more because they were pretty much developed at this stage here. And I want to make the game a little bit go beyond. Maybe it's a bit unhistorical, but to be fair, it's a game. You can use history, but it's still a game, a total war game. And I want to go in a balance between historical accuracy and enjoy a good game in this kind of So also the area of recruitment, I'm not 100% sure how it will be fleshed out, but I have certain ideas and I want to try it. And once this is released, the feedback's given me advice at some point, and we'll see what may come out of all of this. And also the buildings, for example. There was the treasury building added in the beta. And one issue is, for example, that it's intended to be a unique building perfection. But a thing I didn't think about, once you conquer an enemy capital and you conquer a second treasury, it won't auto-destruct the building. And this is kind of a problem for now. And I'm thinking about to change it, but I'm not sure how. There are also some more tiers which will be added to this building, and maybe I will use this tier system in combination with the conquest. Because if you conquer enemy treasury, it's a very important building because you can build elite or your elite units out of there. And maybe I go for another way, the kind of, if you have 3 or 4 or 6 treasuries captured, it gives you a special bonus, a unit or another tier or whatever, some kind of a bonus. Because to be fair, most treasuries are in the capital, and the capital is mostly very much defended by the computer, and it's a good task for a player to go for the capitals of the enemy. There are also some suggestions. My voice is still bad. For some cities or for some empty spaces which need some kind of a settlement. For example, here or Nicaea, for example. I think I will add this at some point too, but not for now, not for the upcoming 0.1, because this won't be as safe game as if I add the other stuff I'm planning. So adding some more settlements will be part of the development, but not for now. I think 680 regions is fairly big. You have a lot to conquer and a lot to play with. And yeah, I tested a lot of these ways through mountains, and so I think some parts also may change to make some progress in areas which you can't reach, for example. But I think there aren't many spots left which I need to rework. At least I didn't found a game-breaking. For example, some parts have rivers, and the crossing was in a bunch of trees, so the crossing was useless. And you can't cross this river without a crossing. And I think those parts are pretty much fleshed out already. Here, for example, between you had this issue. There was a big wood in this area, and in your version you can freely enter all these areas here and reach the settlement. Okay, so this is my current task. Finish or flesh out the beta to a proper 0.1, and then go for buildings, areas of recruitment, maybe some scripts, some more regions, and also with the recruitment some more units, but units in another way. For example, because I see the Roman faction here, I've already added allied legions which are recruitable, and I want to flesh out the recruitment for factions. And the Romans, for example, they have their Hastati and Principes and Triari, which are factional, but also because of their political system, they have access to allied troops. And this goes hand in hand with the political buildings and with the areas they conquer. So for now it's quite universal. You have always the same units at some point. But in future versions, more local stuff will appear to every faction. And also more developed stuff, at least for the barbarians. They will become, or have the possibility to become, an empire. A civilized empire, maybe. But it will be more than just a tribe or a tribal federation or this kind of smaller realms or whatever. I think this is a huge task for 0.2. But we will see what comes out and how it is proved on the map and how it played out, and if it's practical or is it completely stupid at some point. You'll see. So these are my plans, my updates, and I keep you informed. And everyone enjoy the game so far. So have fun, play the game, and give me some feedback, some like. I'm always happy to read if a player likes the game, and it's encouragement for me, and also some feedback that things are going right or in a good direction, and that the gameplay is is a fun intended gameplay, or not just the historical accuracy and the nerdiness, and also the game itself, the gaming aspect. Yeah. Okay, so we will see us in future updates. Bye till then.